Hello, welcome to Epiphany number 28. Play the long game. It's not a microwave business, it is a crock pot business. It is a marathon, not a sprint. And this is one of those that might seem a little bit obvious, like why is this like a big epiphany? And I think it's one of those that's common sense, and yet most people I think don't run their business in this viewpoint, which of course is that this is for the long game. And that permeates in every part of this business, even from when you come on board, realizing this isn't a job. You're not going to pay your bills or make your mortgage payment if you joined yesterday, or even if you got licensed yesterday. Probably you're not going to do that. But long term, it's great. So it's a career, not a job. We know that. Um, but some of the ways that I think this epiphany can help you, which has helped me, is one is try to make your decisions that you have to make based on long-term thinking, not short-term. For example, I'll give you just a random example. Coming to an event, whether it's a regional event, national conference, whether it's a local meeting, whatever the case may be. Maybe short-term, either timing is tough, the money is tough, or honestly, maybe you're just tired. You don't want to go. And I can tell you that is in short term, that might be a better thing for you. Maybe you save money, maybe you're able to do the other thing that you had planned instead. And so that's good. Or again, you're retired and so you didn't go, so you kind of feel better about that. And yeah, I'm telling you, long term, like that would make a mistake. That's what I always did. I said long term, a year from now, 18 months from now, or 10 years from now, will I be glad that I've gone to this upcoming event or not? Because whatever money, time, or other thing I have to miss for that event, I'll probably forget about in 5 years. But it's possible that this event can help me. And I can tell you, team, as I'm making this video, my 29th year in this business, and I can to this day think back on meetings that were 29 years ago, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, that I still think about this day. Whether it's just a little turn of phrase or whether it's a concept or an idea. So that's an example. That idea of don't make long-term decisions based on short-term situations isn't just about meetings, but I'm giving you one example. Upfront production. So your upfront production is kind of your short game, and your residual income is your long game. And if you are in a team building, that's your permanent game. But let's keep away from team building for now. So it's not that upfront business isn't also long term, because when you throw in the idea of referrals and getting and generating new clients, or especially getting a referral now from a client you got 5 years ago, and then you write new business on that referral, and that referral you generate upfront business, you could make the argument that upfront business was a long-term proposition because it came from a client from 5 years ago in this example, and you followed up properly and you learned how to get referrals, so you earned it. So this isn't necessarily black and white, but generally speaking, your upfront business keeps you in business. Your upfront revenue keeps you in business long enough to stay in business to build residual. Okay, but both are important. So I don't want to get into a whole debate about upfront and residual, but you have to think short term and long term, things like that. Note that this is probably, out of this whole epiphany, this is probably the best or the most insightful sub-epiphany for me. And that is that amateurs play the short game and professionals play the long game. As you probably noticed by now, I'm a big fan of the word professional. And again, it has effects in every part of our business, the way you treat the business, et cetera. But this may be one of the bigger differences between what I would call an amateur in this business and a professional. And I don't mean a professional is just someone that's been here a really long time, and an amateur is only someone that's brand new. I've got people that have been here 10 years and I would look at them as amateurs. And I got people that are maybe been here a year or two or three, and I would already consider them a professional. I don't tell them that, and I'm not going to tell you who I'm thinking of, but that in my mind, I have that. Well, one of the biggest things that differentiates, in my view, the difference between amateurs and professionals is that the professionals have a longer term view than amateurs do. And again, that's in a lot of different aspects that comes to fruition. You can see the way they spend their money, the way they treat their business, the way they focus on self-improvement. That's another thing. If you're playing the long game, you will love self-improvement. You are attracted to self-improvement. If you're not attracted and don't like the idea of reading and getting better and listening to podcasts and practicing your craft and trying out new techniques and all this that goes with it, you're probably focused on a short term. You may not even realize it, but you are, because self-improvement takes too long, okay? The business, I'll close with this one. This business is a lot like compound interest, especially in regards to playing the long game. Compound interest, as you all know, is ugly in the early years, but it's a beautiful, wonderful thing in the later years. And that's exactly what happens in this business, in this residual income business, the securities business, when you get this mindset of the long game. The short term is usually very ugly. Sometimes you get fortunate, you have a big case, you have a big client, but for the most part, it takes a while. But when it works, it works. It's not a linear track. It is a compound interest type of track. So, Epiphany number 28, play the long game.